ready for another exciting season of Milwaukee Wave Indoor Soccer in the Major Arena Soccer League. Tom Winnan, along with Wave Hall of Famer Art Kramer, will be bringing you all the play-by-play action once again this year. Art, great to be back for another season. It looks like it could be another exciting season for the Wave.
Yeah, it is. The Wave got off to a great start, beating the Tacoma Stars on the road in a thrilling game. It went right down to the wire. Alex Megson from Tacoma hit a bicycle kick with 5 seconds left to send it to overtime. And then Max Ferdinand, with a brilliant individual effort, got the winner for the Wave and got him off to a good start.
Yeah, Max would have had goal of the week except for that unbelievable goal scored by Megson at the end of regulation. So a big win for Coach Giuliano Oliviero and company on the road. Tonight they host the Cedar Rapids Rampage. Rampage in their third year as a divisional rival of the Wave. What can you tell us about them, Art?
Well, you've got the Thorn and the Pest. So the Thorn is Taylor Bond, a big, strong guy who likes to run at you. He's really been a thorn in the side of the Wave over the years. And then the Pest is Gordy Gerson, a little guy, great work rate. Two of the rising stars in the Major Arena Soccer League, Bond and Gerson. But then you throw in Tony Walls. You've got some veteran presence there with Jonathan Greenfield, Pablo Da Silva. It's going to be a tough test tonight for the Wave.
Still have a few names familiar to Wave fans in the past. Jonathan Greenfield, by the way, in his first year as a player coach for the Cedar Rapids Rampage. Of course, the Wave bringing back a lot of the same group last year, Art, that really was as strong as anybody in the second half of the season. I know Coach Oliviero very optimistic about this year's team.
Yeah, I spoke to Coach Oliviero earlier today, and he felt that the game in Tacoma was really going to be helpful, that they got a game to get their legs under their belt. Cedar Rapids, this is their opener, and Julius felt that was a big advantage for the Wave. But for the Wave, you've got really three to five guys that can put the ball in the back of the net at any given time. But certainly Max Ferdinand, Ian Bennett, who's a great 1v1 player. And the guy I was really impressed with in the first game was Marcio Leite. Marcio back, a veteran now. But then you add Robert Renault, Andre Hain. I just think the Wave has a little bit more than Cedar Rapids as far as depth goes.
And the Wave, of course, anchored in the nets by their second-year goalkeeper, Josh Lemos. Josh looking to be one of the best goalkeepers in the league this season. It'll be Brett Petracek going for the Cedar Rapids Rampage. So stay tuned with us, fans. It's going to be a great game and a great season. This is Wave Soccer on MASL TV. And welcome to the UW Milwaukee Panther Arena for tonight's game between the Milwaukee Wave and the Cedar Rapids Rampage. Tom Winnan, along with Wave Hall of Famer Art Kramer, as we get ready for the Wave's 34th home opener. Wave with the record of 23-10 in their previous 33. And looking to win their third straight home opener. Of course, Milwaukee already victorious in their season opener. Wave now 21-12 in season openers. Make that 22-12 after the 6-5 overtime victory over the Tacoma Stars at the ShoWare Center in Kent, Washington this past Friday. You get a look at the Wave right there as they gather around their coach, Giuliano Oliviero. Giuliano beginning his fourth season as coach of the Wave. He took over, of course, from the iconic coach who we honored tonight, Arts Keith Tozer. His own banner now displayed here at the UW Milwaukee Panther Arena. What an incredible career for Coach Tozer. And the torch has been passed to Coach Oliviero, who's done a nice job in his previous 3 seasons and looking to add an additional championship perhaps to the 6 already garnered by Coach Tozer in the Wave.
Well, Coach, very unselfish in his speech, right? I mean, he thanked everybody possible to thank, and but let's face it, the guy who really made the Milwaukee Wave into a championship ball club, Keith Tozer, back in 1998, winning the first championship. I was proud to be alongside of him, and a guy who personally has been just a tremendous mentor for me as a coach, but as well as a lot of guys around the area, and Giuliano Oliviero behind the Wave bench as well.
So again, a great pregame ceremony honoring Coach Tozer. Again, his banner now hanging from the rafters here at the UW Milwaukee Panther Arena. But we are ready for the start of the Waves 2017-18 MASL home opener.
That banner hanging alongside a number of the Wave Championship banners as well.
And so, underway, Cedar Rapids with the possession. They move it right to left as we face the action here in the first period.
Tom, those numbers on the back of Cedar Rapids jersey, they're a little bit too small for you and I, bud.
They could be a little bit bigger.
We're going to have to petition the league to enlarge in the Cedar Rapids road numerals.
Well, at least they've got fairly good contrast with the white numbers against the dark blue jerseys. But yeah, I would definitely be in favor of expanding those a bit. Here's Josh Lemos, the Waves' second-year goalkeeper, Canadian native, who had an outstanding rookie campaign for Milwaukee, really emerged as one of the league's top goalkeepers during the second half of the season. And as you can see right away, Josh sporting the electric pink jersey, if you will. He's not afraid to handle the ball coming out from his own goal. Jonathan Santos put down on the play. Santos making his first appearance for the Waves since coming back to the club this year. Remember, Jonathan had had an excellent previous 6 years with the Wave. And now a takeaway here, and Robert Renault going to finish it off. Renault had a couple of goals in the opener for Milwaukee, takes advantage of the Cedar Rapids giveaway there, and Milwaukee leads at 1-0.
Giveaway in the Cedar Rapids zone by that man right there, Petrocek, and it was Robert Renault with a defensive attack goal for the Wave. And just like that, the Wave strikes first here in their home opener.
1:24 the first period, as Renault tallies his third of the year unassisted.
Just saw the tail end of it right there, but Petrocek caught in no man's land, gave it up to Renault. Number 9 for the Wave.
Petrocek, second-year goalkeeper, Illinois native who played his college ball at Niagara University, and he had an excellent first season, rookie season, as goalkeeper for the Rampage last year. So he is certainly a very capable goalkeeper. That play right there, probably not symbolic of the way he can handle the ball, typically speaking.
The indoor game calls for so much distribution and play by the goalkeepers. It's never a good thing for a goalie to give a ball away early in the game, because from a confidence standpoint, it really can shake a goalkeeper's confidence. So you have to see how Petrocek responds with his feet here.
Petrocek, like the Rampage, was 12-8 last year, 5-5 on the road. Wave and Rampage split 4 games a year ago. Cedar Rapids winning the first 2 in Cedar Rapids. Milwaukee bouncing back to win the last 2 here in Milwaukee, and that was turned out to be the critical difference in the playoff race, as you see Andre Hain drawing the foul that time.
I remember, Tom, Cedar Rapids got off to such a good start last year. I think they were like 10-4, and everybody else in that division, Missouri, Milwaukee, St. Louis, all trying to play catch-up against Cedar Rapids.
And the Wave with a great second half. They went 8-2 down the stretch, including a couple of big wins over the Rampage. They were able to finish 13-7 and edge out the Rampage by a game for that final playoff spot. The Chicago Mustangs were also in the race for the second and final playoff spot in the Central Division last year. They finished 11-9. Speaking of the Mustangs, we will not be seeing them in the MASL this year, at least not at this division, as Lemo strips a shot off the board. Ian Bennett trying to gather, and his shot blocked in the middle. How about Josh Lemos coming up and letting one fly?
Well, he did it the other night in Tacoma as well. He's got to be careful, though, he doesn't get caught that high out, and I think Bennett got away with a handball in the box there after that initial shot.
Max Ferdinand, the hero from opening night, scored the overtime game winner for the Wave, was trying to see if he could stick one in from the middle of the box, cleared out, but the Wave will get it back as Lemos clears to Matos.
Josh Lemos is one of the best goalkeepers in the league playing with his feet. But when you got all these playmakers, Bennett, Ferdinand, Leite, Renault, Hain, I don't necessarily know if you need your goalkeeper coming all the way up into the attacking third of the field.
He certainly has a credible shot, though, that's for sure, if you give him the chance. I would wager to say Josh can probably strike the ball as well as just about anybody on the team from a shooting perspective. And now we've got our game's first penalty as Rich Grady pulls out the card, and I believe it's going to be Jonathan Santos. So Santos in his first 4 minutes back as a member of the Wave.
You see Santos kind of hitting on the back of number 10 that time. And I was a little surprised that referee Rich Grady didn't allow play to continue as Cedar Rapids was still in possession of the ball. Most of those 2-minute penalties are supposed to be delayed. The Wave had not touched the ball to stop play, but
Santos goes for striking at 3:45 of the first period, and the Rampage will go on the power play. They were about middle of the pack last year with the man advantage. Shot launched on the far side. That was Derek Huffman, deflected away. And Milwaukee trying to come back out. Excuse me, I believe that was Bond who took the shot. Now, Rampa looks across, finds Bennett, shorthanded, bid just wide. Tenzin will follow up with a blast just wide as Petrashek was scrambling to get back to the post. So Milwaukee almost converting on the shorthand. Last year, the Wave, not the strongest penalty killing unit in the league. Memory serves me right, about 55%, middle of the pack. They did get better as the season went on, and they had a very lethal power play to go with it. So they were still a significant plus on the special teams. Shot in, and the initial save made by Lemos. Follow-up is put in by the Rampage, but they're going to wave it off as Gordy Gerson, they say, knocked it out of Lemos' hands after he had the possession. You can see Gordy, number 3, voicing his opinion, and Josh says, not buying it, Gordy.
Well, the call was made by Jamie Walter. He's down here along the boards on this right side. He's out of your screen right now, but let's take another look here as Gerson comes in at the tail end of this play after the initial shot by Walls. Really couldn't see from that replay, but
Lemos,
go ahead.
Lemos was judged to have had possession when Gerson came up to knock it out of his hands. It was pretty close, though, but I think the officials had the right call. Here's Tony Walls, the former member of the Wave, second year now with Cedar Rapids. Tony, a native of Wauwatosa, played his college ball at UWGB, where he was a teammate with one-time Wave star J.C. Banks. Walls getting pressured out high to the near side, and now will work it back. Taylor Bond takes a shot, knocked down. Bond in his third MASL season, his first was Cedar Rapids, had 40 goals last year as a member of the Chicago Mustangs. We'll tell you a little more about the Mustangs as we continue, but they are not playing in MASL 1, if you will, this year. They have elected to step down to MASL 2, so they will no longer be playing the Wave in regular season action this year. Now sent across far side. Header is just off, is turned away as Santos comes out of the box to take it for Milwaukee. He'll reload and play it up for Vega. Guillermo Vega fakes, gets it on the left foot, rolls one in wide left. Follow up, Santos sends it across. Scooped up by Bennett. Petracek will chip it to Gerson, looking ahead for Taylor Bond. Here comes Bond, and he rolls one in wide to the far side. Lemos comes up with it. Lemos up ahead for Robert Renault. Trying to work his way around Joshio Sandoval at midfield. Couldn't quite do it. Huffman comes up with it for the Cedar Rapids Rampage. And gets it ahead to Canale. Nice move at the top. Shot is wide left. Rebound, follow inside. As that was Osvaldo Rojas trying to see if he could follow up for Cedar Rapids. Just about midway through the first period. Wave leads at 1-0 on the goal by Renault. And Cedar Rapids has just tied it up. Derek Huffman, the second-year man out of UIC, Illinois Chicago, converts, and we are tied at 1 apiece.
Well, the Wave really never got possession after the power play, and they were scrambling around for about a minute or two. And it was the Santos penalty that really kind of killed the momentum there for the Wave. They had the early goal and then took an early penalty. And I spoke to Giuliano this morning, and that was one of the things he was concerned about, that Jonathan was going to be so hyped up that he was worried about him taking some silly penalties. And right away, Santos with the early penalty, and Cedar Rapids capitalizes a short time after the penalty was expired.
Well, as you said, Art, not technically a power play goal, but in essence, that's what set it up. Time of the goal at 7 minutes. And Rampage back to even at 1 apiece. Huffman, who we saw last year, he is a fairly decently skilled player who's got a little bit of nastiness to go with it. And so here come the Rampage again. They've got the momentum after tying it up. Centered across, Matos is there to break it up for the Wave. Daniel in his 4th MASL season, 2nd in Milwaukee, had a solid opening campaign for the Wave last year. Santos starts to move, and his shot blocked into the stands. Official timeout coming. .647 left here in the first period from Milwaukee, tied at 1 between the Wave and the Cedar Rapids Rampage. Sam went along with the Wave Hall of Famer Art Kramer bringing you the play-by-play action here. Wave in the black uniforms going left to right on the one and only black field of the MASL here from the UW-Milwaukee Panther Arena. Yerme Vega will play it back to the goalkeeper Josh Lemos looking inside, and his counterpart Brett Petrachuk heads it away. Kept alive as Santos knocks it across. That was Ricardo Cabrera, who was trying to make a move there, number 10. He had a goal for the Wave in the opener at Tacoma last Friday. Now Max Ferdinand dispossessed. Ferdinand, of course, the game winner in overtime, and a sensational goal by Max in that victory over the Stars. Santos, who played for the Cedar Rapids Rampage last year, plays it out to midfield now. Vega trying to push up for a 4-on-3. Ricardinho lays it off, turning shot by Ian Bennett. And the save made Petrachuk as he held the post securely.
Had Ricardinho been able to lay that ball a little bit softer to Bennett, he might have been able to hit it first time. He took the touch. Petrachuk was able to set his feet and made a nice save.
Wave keeping the pressure on. Rampage able to clear. Now here's Rojas in the far corner. Getting some pressure, but he will back it up. And that ball deflects out of bounds. They are going to say off of Gerson.
I was looking at the official lineup sheet, Tom, and Coach Jonathan Greenfield had Tony Walls listed as a defender. Tony Walls is playing up top as a forward. A little bit of a decoy there by Coach Greenfield.
Jonathan Greenfield taking over as the coach of the Rampage. He'll be wearing number 28, player coach for Cedar Rapids, now in his 14th indoor season. 8 of those spent with the Milwaukee Wave. His second year with Cedar Rapids. Last year as a player only, actually assistant coach to Everton Morera, who was the player coach of Cedar Rapids last year. Everton now has moved on to the St. Louis Ambush to take over their program. Bond trying to work his way past Leite, and a hard tackle and a foul on Bond as he put down Stuart Grable. Stuart, the native of Neenah, Wisconsin, former UWGB star, and Bond puts him down with a vengeance, seemingly. And he will go to the box for 2 minutes. Wave will get its first power play.
Bond having a conversation with referee Jamie Walter there, but take another look right here. As you see, Bond absolutely destroyed Rampa there. No question about it. That's a 2-minute penalty. And you see Taylor's got Walter as his real name, Walter Bond. He's got Walter on the back of his jersey.
Yeah, interesting. I didn't realize. We never knew that, I don't think, until now. So, trying to enhance his image in Cedar Rapids, perhaps. He's a heck of a player, and he'll be in the box now for 2 minutes as the Wave goes on the power play. Milwaukee working zone to the rights. Ferdinand, great look across! Oh, what a conversion by Ian Bennett! Put that one on the highlight tape. Wave takes the lead, 2-1 on the power play. Bennett from Ferdinand.
Just a great look that time by number 24, Max Ferdinand, to find Bennett over the top. A deft little chip that set Bennett up on a platter, and Bennett that time with the first time strike from down in his office to the goalie's right-hand side. And just like that, the Wave takes the lead on the power play.
Max Ferdinand picking up the assist on Ian Bennett's second goal of the season.
That power play that was so adept last year for the Wave, taken over right where they left off. A power play goal in game 1 against Tacoma, and another one here today.
Yeah, the power play goal in game 1 was a huge one because the Wave was already down 3-0 at the time, so that got the momentum started back in Milwaukee's favor. Tacoma eventually made the score 4-1 later in the first half, but again, the Wave got a big goal just before halftime to carry the momentum in the locker room, and then 2 goals in the first half, the third period, to tie it up. And then from there, they took the lead 5-4. And only to have it tied up on one of the most spectacular goals in MASL history by Alex Megson of Tacoma with the extra attacker on, 4 seconds left, a full bike from about 20 feet out to the left of Josh Lemos. And I saw that replay probably a dozen times, still marveling at that conversion by Megson. But to the Wave's credit, to be able to come back and win in overtime after clearly one of the most unbelievable goals you're ever going to give up was very impressive.
Yeah, you don't think you're going to see the goal of the year in the first game of the year, but somebody would be hard-pressed to outdo that one by Megson.
No doubt. Andre Hain trying to back in and fire away, was off the mark. Andre, the big guy, missed the opener, but he's back here. Oh, nice move there. As a little step over, Vega trying to get it on his left foot, but a nice defensive play there. Tony Walls taken away, and back he comes. His pass on the wing broken up. Drew Ruggles Ruggles, the third-year man from Georgia Southern, starts it back into the zone. He's got a couple guys coming off the bench. He looks, he comes in, he shot a goal! Oh, what composure by Ruggles! And the Wave leads it 3-1.
3-on-2 that time, started after a giveaway right at midfield, and Ruggles used the overlapper as a decoy and then just toe poked it by Petracek right there. Good overlapping run. I believe it was Ricardinho with that overlapping run. Really confused the Cedar Rapids defense.
See.
Thanks to our friends at Formation. By the way, for those of you
2:12 left to go here in the first quarter. Milwaukee leads it 3-1. You know, it's interesting, Art. Drew Ruggles, I believe, only had 2 goals during the regular campaign last year. Let's double check that. 18 games. My mistake. He had 4 goals, 5 assists, 9 points. He racked up 6 goals in 4 playoff games last year. As you recall, he had that instant goals in the span of about a minute and a half, which nobody in Wave history at regular postseason ever done. So perhaps that was the offensive coming out party for Drew Ruggles.
You could really see Drew's confidence grow as the year went on last year, and he really started to get involved more offensively. He's got the big left foot. He's got a great shot from the outside, and you saw that time. Showed a little finesse as well, using the overlap as a decoy and then just toe poked it by Petracek. But yeah, it was the continued progression to Drew's game last year, and he come out of the gate right now again as well. You talk about an offense that's got Leite, Ferdinand, Ian Bennett, Andre Hain, Robert Renault, Hans Dennison, and then you start getting defenders involved. But look out for this team. It's a deep team, veteran-laden team. Certainly one of the early season favorites, I would think, to go deep in the playoffs.
I would think so as well. Again, probably one of the older team age-wise in the league, although it definitely has some youth to it. So health is certainly going to be a key factor. But if they do stay relatively healthy, I do like the chances of the Wave to be a championship contender this year. Renault checked into the board at midfield by Huffman, who, as we talked about, Art, he's not afraid to take a few shots out there.
As you like to say, Tom, he's no shrinking violet out there.
He is definitely not. He's the kind of guy, if he's on your team, you love him. But if you're playing against him, you're really not going to be too endeared to him. And I guess you say Jonathan Santos probably falls in that same category. So it's great to have Jonathan back with us instead of playing against him. There he is right there, number 75. The Brazilian native. Renault has it broken up, and a long shot launched back, and boy, good thing Lemos was alert to get back. That shot was right on target as Joss had to quickly scamper back.
And then behind the play, they called a foul on Renault.
Yeah, he and Huffman getting into it a bit. So we'll keep an eye on that matchup. Ball centered across, and it deflects in off of Santos. Own goal. And Rapids gets one back. It's 3-2.
As a defender, you always want to get your hips facing up the field. And that time, Jonathan, with the hips facing back towards his own goal, wasn't able to get out of the way of that centering ball that time. Look at the way his body's facing.
And that's either going to be Sandoval or Victor Arriaga, I should say, 88 or 89. We'll try and get some clarification on that. Fibo Arriaga I believe, if that's 88. Otherwise, it's Sandoval, 89. As Art Kramer said at the outset, they could make these numbers a little bit bigger on the back of the Cedar Rapids jerseys.
45 seconds.
Well, it'd be fine if it was a couple young guys, Tom. They could see him. It's you and I, though. Been doing this for 800 years. Our eyes have gone a little bad.
Yeah, I like
get us down on the bench next year.
I like the I like the wave numbers a lot better. Our producer Ian Thompson saying he'd love to do that as well.
We can put Ian on the bench. Absolutely.
Well, he's got the youth on his side, that's for sure. Now, Hans Dennison trying to flip one up. Petracek able to deflect into the stands, so the Wave's got a corner kick coming.
Good opportunity that time by Dennison. Had he been able to keep that ball low, he might have gotten it by Petracek, but got it right up into the area of Petracek's hands. He was able to bat that one away.
15.6 seconds left to go. Leite will trigger from the corner. Marcio looking in. Oh, got it across to Bennett. But his header redirected wide. Good look by Marcio. Unlucky for Ian on the attempted finish. Lemos will find Matos. Lays it off for Ferdinand as it's cleared away. And that will do it for the period. Well, an exciting first period as the Wave outscores the Rampage 3-2. So stick with us, fans, as we get set for period number 2 here in the Waves' 34th home opener from the UW-Milwaukee Panther Arena. It's Milwaukee 3, Cedar Rapids 2. Back with more. This is Wave Soccer on MASL TV and Spectrum Sports.
Arena has experience in some of the biggest events in the country, and we're able to bring that same expertise to local events. We do a lot of corporate anniversaries, company parties. Most of them never plan events like this, so they're looking for our experience to plan these events with them.
Well, every August, we have our customer appreciation party where we close down the restaurant. Customers are able to sample beer, wine, enjoy live music, desserts, the whole 9 yards.
Arena can provide a turnkey service from tents, tables and chairs, linens.
Everybody has a wonderful time, and it's something different out of the ordinary that we're able to do for our customers and for our vendors. They're able to just sit back and relax.
People want more than just a cover for weather. They were able to transform parking lots into amazing event venues.
Arena Rental is very easy to work with. I would recommend them to anybody.
All right, we are back. Start of the second period. Wave with a 3-2 lead against Cedar Rapids. They move it right to left as you look at the action here in the second period. There's Wave goalkeeper Josh Lemos. Didn't have a heck of a lot of action in the first quarter. One of the 2 goals scored by Cedar Rapids was an own goal off of defender Jonathan Santos. And that was credited to Joshio Sandoval. That's the most recent goal that made it 3-2. Into the zone near side, Daniel Matos. He is checked down by Bobby Hurwitz. Hurwitz, a third-year pro out of Robert Morris College of Illinois.
A first quarter to forget for Jonathan Santos, by the way. A penalty and then an own goal.
Yeah, it really was his penalty which set up Cedar Rapids for their first goal. That was scored by Derek Huffman. Renault, Bennett, and Ruggles, the goal scorers for Milwaukee. In it comes Ferdinand. Bennett with a good strike just off the mark. Rampage looking to clear. They got a good job to knock it down, play it for Ferdinand. Max, still one of the few players in professional soccer to wear that full 90 headgear. It has been very successful for him. Moving to his right. Max, Haitian native who grew up in Reading, Pennsylvania. Home of the Reading Royals of the ECHL. Off the end board, it comes Matos, top of the area. Trying to get it on his left foot, and foul is called. Wow, Hurwitz cut down his left leg as he was ready to shoot. And now we have an encroachment warning against Cedar Rapids as Wave is calling for a quick restart. Delay of game called against the Rampage, and so now the Wave is going to take a timeout with a good restart coming in their attacking zone to the left. So you see Brett Petracek making his way over to the Cedar Rapids bench. So big restart chance here for the Wave as they lead at 3-2 with 13:44 left to go in the first period. All home openers are big, Art. You always want to win them, get the season off to a good start as far as the home schedule. This one perhaps a little more important for the Wave. They hit the road for the rest of the month after this. Don't get back here till December. So a big result if they can get it to beat the Rampage. And they get ready to go back on the road again. Back-to-back games against St. Louis and Kansas City coming up next weekend.
Well, you really want to set the tone with your home games. You want to win your home games. Obviously, that's the recipe for success, right? Win your home games, play 500 on the road, and you're going to have a great season. And so every home game's big. Wave wants to establish themselves as a dominant home presence here at the UWM Panther Arena. It's about the 4th restart the Wave has had here in the last 2 or 3 minutes. If you're Cedar Rapids, you keep giving up restarts to a veteran team like the Wave, eventually you're going to pay the price.
All right, let's see what they come up with here. Ferdinand moves up. He will step over. Marcio circling onto the ball. Little touch. Steps over. Bennett with a shot and a goal. Wow. That one had a lot of moving parts, but it worked out well. And Bennett with his second of the night, third of the year. The league's second leading goal scorer last year with 54 goals. Bags another. And Milwaukee on top, 4-2.
Well diagrammed and well choreographed play that time. As you said, Tom, a lot of moving parts to that restart. Look at the dummy that time by Liete. And Cedar Rapids flying around in their own zone, unable to block the shot.
And so Ian rings the bell. I said 53 goals Ian had on the year last year. He was the second leading scorer in the league with 64 points. Sonora's Frank Teau with 72 pacing the MASL. Of course, Teau plays on a field that's barely half this size. But as you pointed out, Arts, they don't differentiate for if one of the Red Sox leads the American League in home runs if he's playing in Fenway Park. And Frank Teau, two-time MVP, is a pretty good player.
You still got to put him in the back of the net. But it'd be interesting to see if Ian played a full season. how many he'd score in that arena?
I would think he could pump it up by another 10, 15 goals perhaps. Another guy who's going to be challenged by a bigger field this year, but so far he's had some pretty good success early, is El Paso's Christian Gutierrez. Last year, playing with the Baja contingent, Rene Ortiz's old team, which is now another member of MASL2, I believe. And so Gutierrez taking advantage of the condensed conditions at Baja. Also pumped in, I believe, 50 goals last year. However, he's now in El Paso playing on a regular-sized field like this one. And he's already got 5 goals for the Coyotes in 2 games. Sparked their season-opening victory, the first ever in El Paso franchise history, 8-4, as that shot launched high and wide by Huffman. And now the Wave comes away with it. Marcio Liete, the 12-year veteran, moving it upfield. Marcio, again, limited to just 3 games during the regular season last year due to a hamstring injury, but he was operating at full capacity in the playoffs as he had 5 goals, 2 assists in 6 playoff games. And, of course, had the game-winning, series-clinching goal against Kansas City.
Had an opportunity to watch the Wave train several times this season. I've been impressed with Marcio's overall fitness. You know, he's been around for a while now, getting up there a little bit, and start to wonder when he'll slow down, but he looks in great physical condition.
Saw Taylor Bond getting called for the foul against Stuart Grable there. Wave in the black uniforms, working it right to left. There's Hans Dennison on the ball. Hans in his 3rd campaign with the Wave, the Dutch native. Playing it for Josh Lemos. Josh, the French-Canadian, making a little spin move there. Who says goalies can't spin on the dribble? Bennett trying to get through, checked off the play. Petracek clears, but out of midfield, Grable will get it back. He and Dennison working the back line for Milwaukee right now. Actually, Drew Ruggles will rotate to the back now as he plays it for Lemos. 4-2 Milwaukee. Still early here in the second quarter. MASL regular season just getting underway last week. In fact, the Wave and Stars played the first game of the season in the entire league. Lemos looks for Ferdinand. Cut off on the play by Tony Walls. Hip check by Max a little too much as he puts down Tony Walls.
Thought the Wave in game 1 against Tacoma in the second half, their ball movement was a lot quicker than it was in the first half. You saw this last shift, Tom, a lot of standing on the ball. And the quicker the Wave moves the ball and gets them to their playmakers, to Ferdinand, to Bennett, the more effective they'll be in the attack. Because by slowing it down, it allows the opponent to get back defensively in numbers. You want to try to catch the opponent in 2v2, 3v3 situations. It's going to play into the strength of Ferdinand and Bennett, Marcio Liete, and others. Comes some of the old gang up here. Joe Reiniger, Brian Lofton, Michael King. How about that line?
That would be a pretty good line.
That line
right
can
there,
still
huh?
play right there.
Oh, my goodness.
Lofty, the midfielder. Reiniger, the second forward. Kinger, the target.
That would be a pretty good line.
How you doing, Joe?
What's up, brother? How are you, man?
Joe, how are you? Good to see you.
Good. You too?
Joe Reiniger looking pretty good. I think we could slot him out there.
How
if
you
we
doing,
had
Lofty?
to. Hey, Brian, how are
Say
you?
we got a pretty good line over there, Lofty. The 3 of you guys. Pretty good line. Little disappointed though. They're drinking Belgian waffle beer. Joe's supposed to have a St. Louis product. Did you see that, Tom?
Fuck off that next for me. Of course, Coach Kramer and Joe Reiniger, both being St. Louis natives, would be attuned to that, you would think.
That's not going to go well with our fellow St. Louisans. So I tell them what's Joe's sporting over there.
A lot of the alumni back here tonight as they were on hand to see the ceremony honoring Keith Tozer and the unveiling of his banner. Ball sent in by Sam Guernsey off the mark. Guernsey, the third-year pro out of Oklahoma City Christian College. And believe it or not, Art, Guernsey is the last remaining original member of the Cedar Rapids Rampage from their formation as a franchise prior to the 2015-16 season. Now, a few other guys played in the team later on that year, including Gerson, Hurwitz, Charlie Bales, to name some. But Sam is the only one from game one.
A lot of turnover by their owner, Chris Kokalis. He's done a good job.
Chris Kokalis, Milwaukee native, general manager of the Cedar Rapids Rampage. Whoa, there's a dangerous kick there by Sandoval, and he's lucky he didn't get 2 minutes for that. And Marcio a bit shaken up on the play.
Marcio with a face full of leather that time, and he's saying, come on, Jamie, if that's not a penalty.
Yeah, Sandoval really getting the foot up dangerously that time. That's why they call it a dangerous play, when you get that leg up above your waist.
Take another look right here, Tom. Watch Sandoval's foot right up there.
Well, perhaps more of a glancing blow, which hopefully means Marcio is going to be okay. But again, that does not detract from the danger of the maneuver. Wave working it on their defensive midfield area. Here's Renault. Robert coming off an excellent rookie season in which he tallied 17 goals for the Wave during the regular season. Had a couple additional goals in the playoffs. Again, he and Lemos and Daniel Chamale, who is not in the lineup tonight, 3 acquisitions off the Canadian futsal team by Coach Giuliano Oliviero. Real major additions for the Wave last season.
Well, Robert Renault, you look at him, he doesn't look like he should be as quick as he is, Tom. Little white lightning, I call him. Boy, buzz around. And not only is he fast and quick, he's got a great first touch as well. Some good technical ability to go along with that speed.
Good center of gravity, able to keep his balance in tight space, and really ideally built for the North American indoor game.
And normally it takes you a year or two to really come into your own playing indoor soccer in this league, but Robert Renault, right from the get-go, played at an extremely high level.
Now Lemos looking to feed it up to Renault, his teammate and fellow countryman. Both Renault and Lemos of French-Canadian heritage. Don't know if they're big Montreal Canadian fans. We won't hold it against them if they are. Oh, good cut back there and a great shot. Whoa, what a finish there as Mohamed Kanawi puts it away. And once again, the Rampage have cut the lead to 1. It's 4-3 Milwaukee.
And Lemos dropped down a little quick that time. I know it was point blank, but you want to stand tall and get those hands up. Watch the goalkeeper this time. He just goes down. That shot would have probably, watch once again, watch Lemos drop down right there. He's going to his right. And had he just held his ground, he probably makes that save.
So, Cedar Rapids able to come back again from a 2-goal deficit. Second time that they've done that so far tonight. Wave led it 3-1 before Rapids scored on an own goal late in the first period to make it 3-2. And then after Bennett's goal here to start the second quarter, Kanawi scores to make it 4-3.
Dennison that time got away with a foul right at midfield. Jonathan Greenfield down along the near bench, giving an earful to Jamie Walter.
Just over 6 minutes to go, first half. Nice crowd here tonight, filled in a bit as the game has continued here from UW Milwaukee Panther Arena. Cold, rainy night outside, but things heating up here on the inside on the Waves' 34th season opener all time. Milwaukee 21-12, looking to make it 22-12 if they can win tonight. Haney following up on the rebound, knocks it out of the corner and back out to midfield.
Good turn that time by Andre and missed the target from point blank range. So one thing he improved on last year was putting balls on frame when he had the opportunities.
He was injured for most of the first half of the year. Really came on late, and then in the postseason, as Leite drives one across. Bennett trying to redirect. Cleared out by Cedar Rapids. Wave will control the possession. Milwaukee has had the bulk of the possession here so far. Cedar Rapids seemingly aren't content to just kind of lay back a bit and play the counterattack. They haven't been overly aggressive trying to pressure upfield so far.
And Giuliano Oliviero on the Wave bench fully expected Cedar Rapids to play this strategy, so the team was able to work on playing their attack against a drop-back defense this week in training.
Bennett spinning. Good defensive work there. I think it was Guernsey who able to clear out for Rapids. Now Drew Ruggles. Drew with one of the 4 goals so far. Third-year pro out of Georgia Southern. The first former Georgia Southern Eagle to play for the Wave since Jason Russell back in the early 2000s. Now Marcio at high, trying to see if he can go one-on-one against Rojas. That's Osvaldo Rojas, his brother, also a member of the team, although not dressed tonight, and he's going to go to the penalty box.
And that definitely was a 2-minute foul, that time on Rojas. Marcio working him right and then working him back to the left. And watch this right here as Rojas comes in, misses the ball, and takes Leite down.
Jamie Walter right on the call. Time of the penalty at 10:44. So Osvaldo Rojas, a former member of the Chicago Mustangs, now playing in the MASL 2, which is, I guess, a developmental league, you would call it. That's the idea of it, for teams to perhaps play in that game and in that level, and then eventually players or perhaps franchises move up to the MASL itself. First year of that division, if you will, between MASL and MASL 2. Wave on the power play. Milwaukee is 0 for 1 so far. Again, they had a great power play last year, one of the best in the league.
You said 1 for 1, correct? Tonight? Wave scored on the power play in their first?
Correct. Yep, they sure did. That was after the tripping foul to Taylor Bond. Well, I got to double check that because Ruggles scored at 12:48. The penalty was at 10:46. So
it was Bennett who scored on the power play, I believe, on the ball from Ferdinand up over the top.
Yeah, we'll double check that, Art. Unless I missed the assessment of a previous penalty here. Doesn't take away from the goal, though. It was spectacular. Ferdinand in the corner has it poked away, and now Rampage trying to break it out. Matos, good job to get it back for Milwaukee. Still a minute to go on the Wave power play. Matos, Leite, Ferdinand, Renault, and Bennett. Marcio to the right. Shot blocked. Good sliding block that time of the defender. Dug out. Renault sets up Ferdinand. Max looking around. He'll play it back. Matos. Daniel with that natural left foot. Can't get the shot, though. Good job by the Rampage on their penalty kill as Matos fires a blast, and a good save by Petracek. Good strike that time by Daniel Matos.
So many weapons on this Wave power play. Ferdinand and Bennett down in each corner. Renault in the center.
Corner kick power play restart. Ferdinand, and checked off the play. Matos gets it back in the corner for Marcio, moves it across. Ian Bennett, he'll take the shot, save Petracek. Oh, Ian with a good strike that time, and a good save by Petracek. I think he might have been partially screened by his defender in front of him 15 seconds ago on the man advantage for Milwaukee. Trying to see if they can pad their 4-3 advantage. Marcio drives it high as Rojas ready to come out of the booth, moved across. Matos shot a goal. What a look from Ferdinand, and what a conversion by Daniel Matos. That's a power play goal for the Wave. They lead it 5-3.
The Wave with just 1 second left on that power play And it was Ferdinand, the playmaker, finding the left-footed Matos down on the right side. And Matos' first time, that's been the recipe for success, that first-time shot to beat Petracek. We saw Bennett do it earlier on the power play, and now Matos again.
See it again there. Boy, that was...
Oh, and Petracek ate that left goalpost. Watch Petracek at the end of this play again. Watch him right here. Not as bad as I thought, but
still
good finish that time by Matos. I was impressed with the wave movement on that power play. Guys interchanging positions quite often. And Ferdinand, who normally starts down low on the right side, found himself all the way up high on the left to find Matos.
Max, the league's leading playmaker with 30 assists last year to go along with 18 goals during the regular season. He's already got 2 assists tonight, 3 on the year. Nice play there by Grable to lunge out and break up the attack. 2 minutes left to go here in the first half. 5-3 Milwaukee. Seen some pretty nice goals here so far tonight from the Wave.
Offensively, it's been excellent so far for the Wave. 5 goals in the first half. They've got to just stop trading goals with Cedar Rapids right now. And a good restart. Let's see if Greenfield takes a timeout here to try to set up a restart deep in the Wave zone. Be quite surprised if he doesn't. It's a good opportunity here for Cedar Rapids.
Well, you get a timeout in each half. Use it or lose it. And as Gerson moves up on the ball, he steps over and calls timeout. And as you indicated, Art, a textbook opportunity for the Rampage to call timeout here, make sure they get the people on the field that they want, and execute the play that they would like to out of this restart.
I'm sure you recognize this photo from the 2000 championship team, one of 4 in which that we won together. Congratulations on the award tonight. Much deserved, and good luck with the rest of your coaching career.
And there he is, the legendary coach, Keith Tozer. We're hoping to have Keith join us up here in the booth in the second half tonight and talk with the coach a bit, see what else is going on with him. But great to see him here. He looks great, always looks great.
He's got a good seat down there, huh?
Got a great seat down there, which
not often you see Coach Tozer in this arena sitting down. Normally standing up behind that bench, pacing up and down.
You know, and it's funny, for a while, with his schedule, once he retired as coach of the Wave, he certainly wasn't retired from anything else. I think the only games he came to last couple of years was when his son Alex was playing for Cedar Rapids back in the 2015-16 season. And I don't know if he ever really sat down for those games as well. But great to have the coach here. We'll look forward to talking to him at halftime.
Keith, a high-energy guy, to say the least, but you look at him, man, he's in such great shape. I played in the Kenny Sanders golf outing with him this year, and I'm like, Coach, man, you're making all of us look bad. And he works out every morning, does his running, just in tremendous shape.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, if you would never guess he's 60 years old by just looking at him on the surface.
Oh, he could still get, I'm guaranteeing you, he could still get out there and play.
Now,
Keith, the former Olympic team member.
He has the physical and mental disposition of a person half his age.
Well, and you know, like I said, Keith is such a high energy guy. The first game I ever coached with Keith as his assistant, Larry Sales gives him a smelling salt before the game. And I said, Coach, what is that for? And he goes, oh, I just want to make sure I'm alert. I'm like, come on, Keith. I mean, you don't need anything to wake you up. You're always going. And he said, well, it's kind of superstitious. And so the next game, Larry went to give him the smelling salt, and I grabbed it out of Larry's hand. I threw it under the bench, and we ended up winning 17-4. And I said, Coach, that ends the superstition. And he never did the smelling salt again. But you think about it, Tom, back in those days, there was, 40-game schedule? So he was doing the smelling salt 40 times, once before the game, once at halftime. That's like 80 hits of that smelling salt every year. I said, Coach, that can't be good for you, man. the ammonia tablets.
Yeah, I think you did well to get him off those. For
Absolutely.
sure. You just saw Taylor Bond shaking up a little bit on that hit by Santos. Jonathan.
It's just a good thing we won that game. Huh? Odds are we were going to win.
The trainers did come on for Cedar Rapids, so that Cedar Rapids player must come off the field.
So because the medical staff did come on the field to attend to Taylor Bond, he's got to come off.
Does he have to come off any faster than that? Or can he just walk as slowly as he wants? There you go. Thanks there, Walter. Well done. See Taylor Bond. Not a guy you want to see running at you with the ball.
No, that's for sure.
One of the premier young players in the MASL.
That was a great acquisition by Cedar Rapids. They definitely lost some veteran experience and talent, especially with their player coach Everton going to St. Louis. But to pick up a player like Bond is a huge acquisition. Renault out of Bennett streaking in the back. Bennett coming through. Shot at a goal. Oh, Ian Bennett streaking down the near sideline and a nice little right foot toe poke to get it past Petracek. 6-3 Milwaukee, and credit Renault with a great assist out of the back.
Eye plush. He's got something to say after that goal. Let's go, huh? What a ball that time by number 9, Robert Renault, to spring Bennett. You didn't get to see it in that one, and then Bennett with the outside of his right just catches Petracek before he can set those feet. But that ball by Robert Renault from his own yellow line right after Cedar Rapids had a restart on the far boards. Cedar Rapids slow to recover defensively, and Bennett makes him pay.
Let me tell you something. Connor McDavid couldn't put it on the tape any better than that, the NHL's leading playmaker from a year ago.
Yeah, as we talked about Renault, not only does he have that speed, but he's got that technical ability to go along with it. Robert reminds me a lot of a former Wave player I used to play with, Dean Kelly. Faster than Dino was, but Dino had nice, silky, smooth touch like Robert does.
A couple of old school footballers. Dean Kelly, Robert Renault. Now Petracek coming up as a pseudo sixth attacker for the last minute of play. So Jonathan Greenfield telling his goalkeeper, or maybe Petracek on his own initiative coming up, trying to see if they could create an opportunity here. It would be huge for Cedar Rapids, obviously, if they could get a goal back here before halftime.
You saw Petracek after he shot that ball was motioning to Taylor Bond. He said, I wanted you to go to far post. It's, hey, you just shot it over the top of the glass.
Speaking of Bond, he streaks to knock away a pass from Lemos. Boy, Taylor Bond with those long legs, able to create havoc back there. Taken away at midfield as Grable plays it ahead. Ferdinand now in the waning seconds. Let's see if Max can create something here. No, cleared out. And that'll do it for the first half, but an excellent first half for the Milwaukee Wave. 3 goals in each period, and as they go to the locker room at halftime, it's Milwaukee 6, Cedar Rapids 3, and you see a fired up Ian Bennett. Hat trick in the first half, along with the rest of his teammates.
Eye plush.
There he is, one of the league's superstars, and he is having a great home opener so far. We're going to stand by as I believe we're going to have Van McNeil down on the field with either Coach Oliviero or one of the players here. I think he's going to be down there with Coach Oliviero, so we will send it down to Van McNeil along with Coach Oliviero.
All right, Wave fans, Van McNeil at halftime alongside head coach Giuliano Oliviero. You got to be liking what you're seeing out here, Coach.
Yeah, really well played first half. I thought Cedar Rapids was very great. They tried taking us out of the game at times, and they had 3 goals. We'd like to see them 3 goals in a half. So we don't want to give up 3 goals in the second half, but offensively, it's been fantastic in the last aspects of the game. Special teams, we got some power play goals, we got some restart goals. our transition to get up the field. We've got a couple goals through our speed. So overall, it's been great, and if we can wear Cedar Rapids down with our possession in the second half, something we're looking to do.
It's that mentality of not getting complacent here. You got another 30 minutes of soccer, so.
We know there's a lot of firepower on that other side, so we know what we can do offensively, but defensively, it's got to be better in the second half.
All right, head coach Giuliano Oliviero, there he goes. Back to the locker room. Let's go over to Doreen Michaels. Doreen, lots going on here earlier today at Panther Arena, right?
Arena has experience in some of the biggest events in the country, and we're able to bring that same expertise to local events. We do a lot of corporate anniversaries, company parties. Most of them never planned events like this, so they're looking for our experience to plan these events with them.
Well, every August, we have our customer appreciation party where we close down the restaurant. Customers are able to sample beer, wine, enjoy live music, desserts, the whole 9 yards.
Arena can provide a turnkey service from tents, tables and chairs, linens.
Everybody has a wonderful time, and it's something different out of the ordinary that we're able to do for our customers and for our vendors. They're able to just sit back and relax.
People want more than just a cover for weather. They were able to transform parking lots into amazing event venues.
Arena Rental is very easy to work with. I would recommend them to anybody.
Go where the pros go for chiropractic care, massage therapy, and exercise rehabilitation. Goodyear Chiropractic Health Center, the official chiropractor and massage therapist for the Milwaukee Wave.
Experience Wisco Hotels, a broad selection of quality hotels throughout the state of Wisconsin for the value-minded traveler. Whether you're looking for a hotel in Milwaukee, Madison, Fond du Lac, Appleton, or Oshkosh, Wisco Hotels has you covered with great service, comfort, convenience, outstanding hotel rates, special hotel promotions, and so much more. To book your room or to get more information, visit wiscohotels.com. Wisco Hotel Group, proud partners of your Milwaukee Wave.
For all your construction needs.
just about set to go with the start of the second half. The Milwaukee Wave leading the Cedar Rapids Rampage by the score of 6-3, and we have a very special guest joining us here in the booth. The man who was honored tonight in the pregame ceremony and the unveiling of a banner in the rafters. Of course, we're talking about Milwaukee's legendary coach, Keith Tozer. Coach, first of all, thank you very much for stopping by to visit us here. A lot of fans, I'm sure, were happy to see you here in person or in video. Also got some a lot of former players, alumni gathered here as well. And what are some of your thoughts, real quick, on tonight's event so far?
Tom, you know, there's moments in a man's life that time stands still, and I think tonight was one of those where, 22 years being in this building with obviously you and Art, all the players, all the coaches I mentioned, the ownership, the fans, the media. It was just an unbelievable feeling, and just very proud to be able to be here and to celebrate with so many people. So it's been a great night for me.
Hey, Coach, let's talk about something important. This top of the arc restart right here. What are they doing?
Where's Housey with the double run over?
Got you up here, Coach. Come on,
hey,
man.
Actually, Marcio, I think, is the assistant coach, and the timeout they had at the top of the arc at the end of the second quarter with Ian scoring that goal, it was a very nice restart.
That was a heck of a play.
Yeah, it was.
And a big goal at that time, and certainly Milwaukee right now maintaining the 6-3 advantage as the Wave goes left to right here in the third period. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, Keith, what is it like having coached so many games in this building and, of course, across the street at the soon-to-be disassembled Bradley Center, but what's it like for somebody like you to actually, be here and just watching the game more or less like a regular fan?
Well, it's kind of like walking down memory lane. You walk around the building and you say, oh, I remember when I stood here, I remember when I stood there, remember when that guy scored the goal, the big save, running around with the championship, the losses, the pain, the sorrow, but most importantly, so many fun times. And as I said, in my speech, I did not win one game. At the end of the day, it's all about the players. And we, Art, as you know, because you were a tremendous assistant coach, there were so many unbelievable players that are some of the best players in the history of the indoor game that came through this building and across the street to Bradley Center. That's what I remember the most.
Tom, Coach used to come in after every game, after the game, and sit down in the locker room, and he'd say to the guys, hey, guys, where was this game won and lost? And so, Coach, tell the people at home listening, where did you tell them the game was won and lost?
Well, let me add to that, because when Jim Lindenberg bought the team, his first game as a Wave owner was down in Monterrey, Mexico. And obviously to have a shutout in indoor soccer is like a no-hitter or a perfect game in baseball. So we beat Monterrey, which is a very great team and a difficult place to play. Walked in the locker room and said, guys, where did we win this game? And I looked at the rookies, and they're looking at each other going, is Coach okay? And I go, no, where did we win this game at? And then one of the veterans said, we won it at E-Line. We won it at the training facility. And I think that's what was the mark of a championship. These guys sweated the details each and every day. And it wasn't fun at times, but at the end of the day, at the end of the year, they won a championship.
And as I said earlier, Tom, and I'll tell Keith right now, even though Keith got out there and thanked everybody and said that he never won a game, it was the players. It was your preparation to set the tone, as you see Renault's score there at the far post.
Well, if you, and you guys follow sports, and you guys are the two best commentators, obviously, in indoor soccer, with no disrespect to anybody else. But if you follow other sports, it's always comes down to details, organization, doing the little things that make good players great, doing the little things that make, good teams, championship teams. And the men bought into it. And why they did, I don't know. But I never thought that we would win one, let alone six. And, we lost four, and there was some we won that we should have lost, and some we lost we should have won. But at the end of the day, to be able to come back here with the franchise that I love and a game I love, it's been a really, really wonderful night.
Again, we're talking with the Waves' legendary former coach Keith Tozer. Had a banner unveiled in his honor tonight, hanging from the Raptors here at the UW-Milwaukee Panther Arena. And I know, again, Coach, talking about some of the special people who were here to share it with, certainly your family and certainly other friends and some of the great players in the Wave past. Michael King, if you are the iconic figure behind the bench for the Wave, Michael King would probably be the iconic figure on the field for the Wave as well.
Yeah, Kinger was captain a long time, and he led his team in many ways. And I remember later on in his career, he didn't want the captain's band. And I said, "Why is that?" And he said, "Well, I'm not the leading goal scorer anymore." And I said, "Michael, you're not the captain because of the points you score. You're the captain because of the men that you lead and the way you are." And I think that's what was really important in how we conducted ourselves, not only winning games, but how we conducted ourselves as men and husbands and fathers and friends.
Blue card was pulled out down below after Josh Lemos had come up with a save. And Rich Grady and Jamie Walter will sort it out on the other side. A delay a game call against Cedar Rapids. And now you see Gordy Gerson with the captain's armband going over to talk things over with crew chief Rich Grady.
Petrocek that time got caught all the way up into the waves. Look at right here on the replay. Petrocek puts his hands up, commits the penalty. I got to ask you, Coach, it seems like more and more the goalkeepers are coming forward. I mean, in this game, even tonight, into the attacking half of the field. What's your thoughts on the goalkeepers coming up so far, being so involved?
Personally, I don't like it. I mean, there are so many great goalkeepers in the league, and they got great, foot skills. And I did not come to see, the ball at the goalkeeper feet. I want to see Marcio Leite and Ian Bennett. So I've been saying for years, maybe limit the touches of the goalkeeper. But you know what? I'm not the commissioner of this league, commissioner of another league. So, but it's great. Let me say one thing. I really want to say thank you to all the owners around MASL, to all the coaches and players and fans around the league that for many, many years booed, many, many years cheered. But I got so much tremendous respect for the game in indoor soccer and for the people involved. So around the league, thank you for all the fans and everybody else.
And as you saw, the Wave able to score on a shootout as the goalkeeper Petrocek was adjudged to be the last defender on the field when he committed that handball penalty. Kind of weird when he's in his attacking zone that would occur, but that was it. So Milwaukee getting the shootout, and Max Ferdinand laid it off to Ian Bennett. Ian's got 4 goals tonight. Milwaukee leads it 8-3.
Well, any intentional handball by the goalkeeper outside the box is going to be a shootout, and even if it's in the attacking half of the field or attacking third of the field. So a really silly play that time by Petrocek. And how do you stop that shootout? Ferdinand comes down, Bennett's the fastest guy on the field, he waits for Bennett, commits the goalkeeper, and there it is.
Time of the goal at 4:03 of the third period. Bennett
so Keith, what's your thoughts of this Wave team? You've seen him a few times. I know when your son Alex was playing, he's again here tonight. Any comments on this side?
No, I love the balance of the team. They have grit. They have tremendous technical ability. They have the ability to finish. Great goalkeeping. Lemos, and obviously from the Canadian national team, Renaud, I thought was a great addition to the team. I think Jonathan Santos coming back, a little bit more experience, a little bit more calm, I think is a great key to them. Daniel Matos brings that left-sided, Vega in the back. I think they have a great team, and Giuliano has done a wonderful job along with, Marcelo Fontana, and then you bring Marcio in and doing restarts. But the master in restarts till this day is Art Kramer. There's no one that better that can map out a restart, organize it, practice it, and make sure that in times that you need it was great.
I thought you were going to say scoring goals on restarts.
Well, you're a great player. But
just drawing them up.
I
learned a lot from yourself, Omid Namazi, even Joe Reiniger, who's in attendance tonight as well. There's a lot of good minds out there that you can learn from.
It's great when you got pieces and you got guys like Housey and Reiniger and, Kinger and all those Troy Dusowski and all the wonderful players that played here. So that, like I said, it's all about the players. Big shout out to Mike Zimmerman. The owner of the Wave, has kept this thing going, and big reason why I'm here tonight. So I want to thank Mike Zimmerman and the entire Wave franchise. It's been a great night.
Marcio Leite almost able to chip one in from midfield against the retreating Brett Petracek. As, again, the Wave keeping the pressure on, but I think they're going to get Renault for a foul. Well, Coach, again, it's been fantastic to have you back up here with us. And I know, again, you've been working very diligently with the Professional Futsal League to get that league launched. Is there any updated news you can give us regarding the PFL?
Sure. We keep continuing to growing. Right now, after the 3 events that we had in Dallas, Texas, and 2 in Orlando, we're now doing all the things behind the scenes to make sure that the league, when we kick off, is ready. To build a league, the magnitude that we're building takes so many things. Referee program. We don't have any referees in the United States that have really reffed the game in professional futsal. Then you have, obviously, players, coaches, player contracts, flooring, the media. So there's so many things that we're working on. But, to have Mark Cuban, to have Donnie Nelson, Michael Hitchcock, former president in Major League Soccer, Brian Dick, Christie, Rob Andrews, the rest of our staff. Futsal looks very bright, and everybody's talking about it. The bridge of futsal to football for the outdoor player is very bright, so we're very excited about it.
All right, good stuff. Well, again, it's been our pleasure to have you here in the booth with us, Keith. Certainly a great night. We want to wish you the best of luck going forward, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do this again perhaps sometime before the end of the season.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Keith.
Awesome.
Keith Tozer, the legendary former coach of the Milwaukee Wave, honored tonight with a banner here from the rafters of the UW Milwaukee Panther Arena. Meanwhile, the Wave maintaining its 8-3 lead over the Cedar Rapids Rampage. We have just about reached the midway point. We have the media timeout. You see Josh Lemos going over to his bench for the Milwaukee Wave. Tom went along with our Kramer. Wonderful visit with Coach Tozer. Great night for him, certainly for he and his family. And again, in any professional sports franchise, Art, there's always going to be a couple of iconic figures who are synonymous with the team, synonymous with the franchise. Some people may not know that Keith Tozer did not start his coaching career with the Milwaukee Wave.
And Gavin, and they all
did not play for the Milwaukee Wave, but as a coach, 22 years, and really, coach, general manager, as Milwaukee Mayor Tom Bennett said, the super glue of the Wave organization. He will always be associated with the Milwaukee Wave.
Yeah, Coach started out at the Louisville Thunder, actually, in the old NPSL. Sorry, AISA was what the league was called back then. I was playing for the Canton Invaders. Keith and I had a lot of nice battles those first few years. Saw each other in the finals. And then he went on to coach Los Angeles with the Lasers in the MISL, the first edition of the MISL. But yeah, the winningest coach in indoor soccer history, and very humble tonight and thanking everybody. But as I said before, it's a lot of people owe a great deal of thanks to Keith Tozer for all he's done in the game and for.
Oh, what a save there by Lemos to rob his counterpart, Brett Petracek. Wow, Petracek cranking one up there from long distance, and a great save by Lemos. Well, I think I can speak confidently when I say that Keith Tozer was definitely a significant friend and mentor to both of us. Always enjoyed being around Keith in both a personal and professional basis. Learned a lot from him, again, both on and off the field, and no question made being affiliated with the Milwaukee Wave very enjoyable during the time that Keith was with the organization.
Well, a lot of road trips we all went on, Tom, and as you know, we're not hanging out with the players on the road, so it was basically me, you, Coach, Moose, Larry, right? That's who's hanging out on the road together, so as you said, a lot of good times.
Yeah, absolutely it was. And
Curtis Ambulance, proud to be partnering with
a
Milwaukee Way.
special year for the Milwaukee Way, but as Keith said, you look to the future looking very bright. Mike Zimmerman and MK Sports and Entertainment that took over this franchise a few years ago. That was a year after Keith had left the Wave, and again, they've done a tremendous job to keep this franchise moving forward. And again, I think a lot of great things in store for this franchise as well.
And in the 6 minutes that Keith was up here in the booth, the Wave able to blow this game open a little bit as well.
2 goals in this period from Renault and Bennett, the latter on a shootout off the assist from Max Ferdinand. That was after a handball by Cedar Rapids goalkeeper Brett Petracek while he was down in his attacking zone, all the way on the other end of the field. Ian Bennett trying to get through, tripped up on the play. They play on. By the way, I think I mentioned before that as that ball played off the end board, just missed by Dennison. Now Renault trying to get it back. Hurwitz there initially for Cedar Rapids. Dennison centers off the end board. Huffman trying to clear, knocked down by Bennett. And he is dumped on the play, and perhaps with a little bit of enhancement, drew the call. There's Hurwitz right there. Bobby going with that Spikes Mohawk this year. Hurwitz in his 3rd season and his 2nd full season with Cedar Rapids. He was a college teammate at Robert Morris College in Illinois with Gordy Gerson, whom he now is a teammate with at Cedar Rapids. Good crack by Renault, and it's deflected away.
The Wave having their way right now with Cedar Rapids. Giuliano Oliviero really felt like that first game was going to help him. And I think if you're Jonathan Greenfield, the Cedar Rapids coach, you want to really revisit how much you're going to allow goalkeeper Brett Petracek to come forward like that.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be analyzing probably a few things from this opener here as to what they might want to do as far as their playing style. But
I remember the first goal of the game was a giveaway by Petracek down deep in the zone, and then the handball. And so there's 2 goals right there.
Marcio chips across the top, and cracked by Matos, blocked high in the air. Well, I don't recall Petracek being quite as adventurous last year, but again, he was only a rookie last year. And again, you've had a coaching change as well, so perhaps a little philosophical difference between Jonathan Greenfield, his current coach, and Everton Mora, who was his coach last year. Everton now taking over the program in St. Louis, which I think is going to be a positive thing for the Ambush, one of the Wave's Central Division rivals. Again, Milwaukee, Kansas City, St. Louis, Cedar Rapids, all in the same division.
Once again, I think you got to take a look at the philosophy, because right now you're a -2 with your goalkeeper coming forward. If his coming forward leads to a bunch of goals the other way, then I could see it, but I don't see that they've created a whole lot with it.
Not so far, anyway. Cedar Rapids in the blue shirts, white pants. They go right to left. Now, I mentioned before that Osvaldo Rojas, number 77 in the lineup, I did not think his brother Edwin was playing, but Edwin is indeed number 21. He had the assist on Kanawi's goal back in the first half. They had him listed as 22, but he's actually wearing 21. So both Rojas brothers, who used to play with Chicago, are both in the lineup for Cedar Rapids.
You take the 2 goals I referenced, Tom, and also Leite just missed with Petracek way off his line. That would have been 3. And you come to a place like Milwaukee, Baltimore, Missouri, some of these teams, you can't afford to gift 3 goals to teams of this caliber.
Mato sends it up ahead for Drew Ruggles. Trying to work his way past Hurwitz, takes a shot. Hurwitz puts him down. I said Hurwitz. That's actually Aguilar who took the foul there. So
Another problem for the Rampage has been the amount of restarts they've given the Wave here.
Tell you one guy they could really use, who was a good player for them and always played well against the Wave, as Wave got called for a delay of game, so the restart going to go to Cedar Rapids.
The Cedar Rapids wall is standing no more than 1.5 yards away from the ball. I'm not sure why they're not being backed up.
But I was going to say, Pat Kelly, key midfielder for the Rampage the last couple of years, former Marquette star. And good player, and he played particularly well against the Wave. And there's a guy, I don't know what Pat Kelly's doing this year. I don't think he's in the league, but he could definitely give them some stability at midfield and a good veteran presence out there that might be helpful. Not to offend any of the other current midfielders for Cedar Rapids.
I said it in the opening, Tom. Cedar Rapids has some good players. We talked about Bond and Gerson, Tony Walls, some of the veterans they have that played for the Wave, but just not as much depth as what the Wave has.
Although not a lot of teams probably do, as you look at the rosters this year.
That's a good point, and you said it earlier in the broadcast that the health of the Wave is going to be a big key. They can remain healthy. They're going to be one of the teams to beat this year in the MASL.
Andre Hain to Renault trying to get it back. Andre coming down the middle, and a great cover up by Petracek. Oh, great work there on the end board combination. And Petracek smothering it just as it looked like Andre was sliding in to convert. There you get a look at the 27-year-old Brazilian who, by the way, played his college ball in St. Louis at Lindenwood University. So he had a chance to sample a little Budweiser during his college days, I'll bet.
Well, maybe when he was done with college. But Lindenwood College has always had a lot of foreign players, a good foreign presence. A lot of Serbian players have played their college soccer at Lindenwood.
Always a pretty good D2 team there. Good program there. They and the UMSL Rivermen, fairly big rivals soccer-wise. Another pretty good D2 ball club. Cedar Rapids with it. Don't forget, Wave will be on the road next week. Saturday night in St. Louis, Sunday night in Kansas City. You can watch both those games live on MASL TV. Sponsored by YouTube. Oh, what a look there as Renault picks out Ricardinho. He converts, and the Wave leads it 9-3.
Another defensive attack goal for the Wave. Once again, it's Petracek all the way out by his yellow line. Got caught, played a square ball that the Wave picked off. And another goal for the Wave through their defense.
Ricardinho with his second of the season. And Renault picking up another assist. Robert with a couple of helpers tonight to go along with a pair of goals. And I would say Robert Renault, along with Ian Bennett, who's put in 4 goals tonight, 2 of our major candidates player of the game for the Milwaukee Wave. Anyway, the Wave's next home game will not be until December 1st when they will host the Kansas City Comets. That's on Friday, December 1st at 7:05. Call the Wave office for tickets at 414-224-WAVE. You can also order online at MilwaukeeWave.com. MilwaukeeWave.com, your source for everything Wave. Last 35 seconds of the third period. Wave now by 6. Milwaukee has scored the last 5 goals in this game, going back to Ian Bennett's tally at, or Daniel Matos' tally at 12:48 of the second period. Wave putting on a good show here for the crowd tonight. Bennett's going to let her fly from midfield. Oh, Ian puts it off the frame. Wow, I'm not sure Petracek thought that was going to be as close to the target as it turned out to be. How about Ian Bennett? 2 more goals. Here in the third period, the Wave adds a total of 3. And as we go to the fourth quarter from Milwaukee, It's the Wave 9, Cedar Rapids 3, coming back with the fourth quarter right after this.
Arena has experience in some of the biggest events in the country, and we're able to bring that same expertise to local events. We do a lot of corporate anniversaries, company parties. Most of them never plan events like this, so they're looking for our experience to plan these events with them.
Well, every August, we have our customer appreciation party where we close down the restaurant. Customers are able to sample beer, wine, enjoy live music, desserts, the whole 9 yards.
Arena can provide a turnkey service from tents, tables and chairs, linens.
Everybody has a wonderful time, and it's something different out of the ordinary that we're able to do for our customers and for our vendors. They're able to just sit back and relax.
People want more than just a cover for weather. They were able to transform parking lots into amazing event venues.
Arena Rental is very easy to work with. I would recommend them to anybody.
Go where the pros go for chiropractic care, massage therapy, and exercise rehabilitation. Goodyear Chiropractic Health Center, the official chiropractor and massage therapist for the Milwaukee Wave.
For all your construction needs.
Experience Wisco Hotels, a broad selection of quality hotels throughout the state of Wisconsin for the value-minded traveler. Whether you're looking for a hotel in Milwaukee, Madison, Fond du Lac, Appleton, or Oshkosh, Wisco Hotels has you covered with great service, comfort, convenience, outstanding hotel rates, special hotel promotions, and so much more. To book your room or to get more information, visit wiscohotels.com. Wisco Hotel Group, proud partners of your Milwaukee Wave.
Fourth quarter underway here from the UW-Milwaukee Panther Arena in downtown Milwaukee, and right off the bat, Wave is going to get called for a penalty as Aguilar got dumped, trying to come down the near wing. Daniel Matos go to the box for Milwaukee. Second penalty against the Wave, the fifth of the contest, as Matos will go for tripping at 8 seconds of the fourth quarter.
Good call that time by Rich Grady. Matos didn't see Aguilar coming, and he just kind of snuck up his backside there.
So Daniel will have to rest up for a couple of minutes in the penalty box while Cedar Rapids goes on the power play. Second power play tonight for Cedar Rapids, 0 for 1. Here's Ian Bennett trying to break away shorthanded, but Taylor Walter Bond.
Good little poke tackle there by Taylor Bond.
His name is Walter Bond. Crowd of just over 5,000 fans on hand here tonight. Nice crowd opening night. And except for the handful of Cedar Rapids fans here tonight, I think they definitely enjoying this one with the Wave on top 9-3.
Did you see a 50-50 raffle tonight, Tom?
Did not see the 50-50 raffle. We're going to have to find out what the situation is with that. always one of our favorite moments.
Yeah, 5,000 people.
Pretty
We
good.
have a pretty good pot.
Pretty good pot,
50-50 raffle tonight.
Yeah. Not that you or I are eligible to win it, but still would be a nice little bonus there for the fans. Bond.
I like to try to find who wins the 50-50 raffle and then go ask them where they're going after the game. Go hang with them.
Got to be at least a couple of complimentary beverages coming from that association. Well, Jonathan Greenfield, the player coach out there. We have not seen Jonathan in the field too much today. Again, I think his intention is to be more coach than player this year, but certainly they can use his skill and experience at various times this year.
His calming influence on the ball would be needed. Have Petracek stay back in his net a little bit more and let Greenfield, Pablo, and some of these guys come forward with the ball.
Cedar Rapids still working in on the power play, which is going to be coming to an end just as we speak. Matos coming out of the box as Lemos able to cover that one up. Whoa, somebody got spilled at midfield there. Shot saved by Lemos. Follow-up is cleared out in the middle. I think Matos might have got a piece of that one. Some good team defense, by the way, up there as Lemos covers up. Boy, I'm trying to think, Art, I don't think we've seen Tenzin Rampa in a while. I don't know if Tenzin might have taken a rep.
Tenzin was just part of that man-down unit that killed the last penalty.
I was going to say, didn't know if he had taken a knock earlier in the contest, but that's good to see. Not unusual for Tenzin to take a knock or two. He certainly gets involved in the physical mix out there, but that's good to see that hopefully he's not nursing any ailment.
Tenzin's just one of those guys that sometimes you're not going to notice because he's not involved in a lot of the scoring, but one of the best man-to-man markers in the MASL. The Wave captain, number 2, Tenzin Rampa.
Undoubtedly. Tenzin now in his 9th season with the Wave. The Madison native who played his college ball at UW Milwaukee. And over the years has really become a steadying influence on the back line for the Wave. And has always given the Wave a good physical presence on the back line as well.
It's just so hard to beat 1v1, low to the ground, good balance. Moves his feet so quick.
You know, we talked about how he doesn't score a lot of goals, but typically the ones he does score turn out to be pretty important goals. Tenzin in his career has only scored 26 goals in 120 regular season games for the Wave. This is actually his 10th season with Milwaukee. 26 goals, 23 assists, but I wager to say, Art, that he's probably had at least a handful of game winners that have come out of those 26.
Tenzin was a guy that the Wave signed. Keith Tozer signed Tenzin Rampa as a reserve player right out of UWM. And here he goes all the way as a reserve team player with the Wave and to now the captain of the Milwaukee Wave.
Yeah, what a career, no doubt about it. Cedar Rapids working it out of their defensive end. Again, Rampage going left to right here in the fourth. Andre Hain takes away. Andre trying to nudge it to Renault in the middle. Ball cleared out. Santos will go back to get it. Santos trying to fend up Oswaldo Rojas. Able to do so as he gets it back for Josh Lemos. Josh has not had to do a heck of a lot here in the second half, but he has been sharp, come up active a couple of times. Bennett moves it on the far side. Ricardinho trying to go back for Bennett, coming off the end board. Number 5 for Ian Bennett. And Milwaukee leads it 10-3. And iPlush has got it going tonight in the home opener.
Good ball off the end boards by Ricardinho. And you said it, Bennett with number 5 tonight. Well-timed run.
5-12, the time of the score for Ian. Held to just 1 goal in the opener, but he pops in 5 tonight. Ricardinho picks up the assist. and Wave leads it 10-3.
And it was either Hurwitz or Huffman that Bennett beat to the near post, but you know, you're defending number 26. You better get goal side and get position.
Milwaukee keeps their offensive run going. They have scored the last 6 goals in this game. Remember, this was a 4-3 game midway through the second quarter. Again, Cedar Rapids has not shown a 6th attacker per se tonight, but again, Petracek has been moving forward with most of their possession here in the second half. Greenfield trying to keep the zone near side. Aguilar had it poked away. Dennison exchanges passes with Lemos. And we've got a penalty there on Aguilar as he came in hard and fouled Max Ferdinand, although he quickly apologizes to Max.
With that number 11, Aguilar kind of reminds me a little bit of Marcelo Carrera, former indoor soccer great with the Canton Invaders.
Yeah, he's got
kind of looks like him a little bit, doesn't he?
Got a look to him.
Not sure his game is as established as Marcelo Carrera's was.
But he certainly has the facial profile. Other action tonight in the MASL, Kansas City and St. Louis. Opening game for both teams in KC tonight, tied up at 3 in the first half. And the Florida Tropics, their opener tonight, they're on the road in Hidalgo, Texas against the Rio Grande Valley Barracuda. Barracuda's 8-4 losers to El Paso last Saturday. And right now the Tropics leading 2-1 in RGV. Good to see the Barracudas back in a much nicer venue, I must say. Well, the days of Brownsville.
It's good to see St. Louis tied with Kansas City. Not just because I'm from St. Louis, but I've been saying for years that, man, St. Louis's schedule is always so brutal. The teams they got to play against. And maybe this will be the year they can get over the hump with Everton Marrera as their coach.
Yeah, Comets should still be a pretty formidable team, but they lost a bit in the offseason. You talk about the Palmers, Robert and Ramon, along with Alan Mattengo going out to Tacoma.
Yeah.
So, as we talked about, that definitely has enhanced the Stars team for this year. Just about midway through the fourth quarter.
And Goran is still coaching them in Kansas City.
Goran Kovacic.
Well, as long as he's in charge, they're going to be one of the teams to beat. Because that team in transition is as good as anyone out there, and that's what Goran preaches. The importance of transition. They work on it both sides of the ball. They're as good as any team in the league in transition.
Still got Leo Gibson, still got Lucas Rodriguez, still got Johnny Sosa. So you've got some collection of some pretty well-heeled players. And so, Coach Giuliano Oliviero on the Milwaukee Wave looking to go 2-0 to start the campaign. Giuliano 39-21 regular season, and 7-8 postseason so far during his 3 previous years with the Wave. And he's put together a pretty solid ball club here. I think fans are going to enjoy watching the team this year. And again, I would say the biggest question would be, can the Wave stay healthy? They would appear to have some pretty solid depth, so should be able to withstand a few injuries. But of course, it's always tough for any team to withstand a rash of physical setbacks. Right now, the team looks pretty good. I got to believe Coach Oliviero pretty pleased the way these first 2 games have gone this season.
Well, that first one, that's why it was so big to win the first one, because it's anytime you're going to go out to Tacoma, take on that team who's much improved, and you got, let's face it, Danny Waltman in goal. The Wave has had their problems with Danny Waltman over the years. That goes back a long way, all the way to the Chicago days. So anytime you get a win over Danny Waltman in goal.
That Showware Center was certainly rocking. Whoa, what a conversion there. However, after Walter Bond stuck one in there.
I think it was
Huffman
that scored the goal.
Okay.
He must have taunted the Wave wall. I didn't see it, but I got to think that's all that.
That's probably it.
Let's see if we can see on the replay what Huffman does after he scores. There's the shot. Let's see if we can keep it rolling. And then he says something, I think. Yep.
Well, he couldn't resist with a little verbal jousting there, but hey, it was a heck of a goal. That was top shelf.
Love the restart approach. Run up and bang it, man.
Great shot there by Huffman.
Greg House style right there.
I got to tell you, Art, if you are a Cedar Rapids fan, you got to enjoy watching Derek Huffman play. Plays hard, got some skill, and certainly plays with a feistiness.
Well, and you know what did he say there, Tom? To get him a 5-minute penalty, you could see that he was saying something, but man, Rich Grady's got to have some good ears to have heard that one. Huffman had his back to Grady.
He must have been
Rich might want to get a job in the National Football League. Come on, man. Come on, man. Let him play.
He must have been articulating very strongly.
And think about it, though, Tom. We've seen Ian. How many goals has Ian scored today? And he hasn't stopped. I know he's not. It's not directed at anyone.
(10-4). That goal by Huffman, his second of the night, ended Milwaukee's 6-goal run.
I'll have to ask Rich what Huffman may have said there next time I see him. But good job tonight by Jamie Walter and Rich Grady. Both officials have done a very nice job.
Excellent veteran officiating crew. And, you know, a couple of division rivals going at it. They'll play each other 3 more times this year. And you can bet the intensity of this series is going to be ratcheted up. And there's a giveaway by Lemos. And Aguilar able to score. Wave working it in his defensive end. And I don't know, Lemos a bit surprised, I guess, by double team. You see him arguing with the official, Jamie Walter, that he thought he was fouled. But the Rampage just pouncing on him. Took it away and they score. Aguilar gets credit for the goal at 8:36 in the 4th period. So back-to-back goals by the Rampage. It's now 10-5. Not going to see Josh get too distracted when he has the ball, but
now you heard the question I asked Keith Tozer during the interview with him. How do you feel about these goalkeepers coming forward? What did he say? I don't like it.
Yeah.
I agree with him. I agree with him.
I'm sure Keith, from an objective standpoint, did not like that.
So what we've seen, 3 goals now tonight, result of goalkeeper giveaways, and that's going to happen. But there's a reason they're goalkeepers, and they're not center forwards or center midfielders. And while Josh Lemos is one of the best players in the league with his feet, I'll give him that. Look, see the little skill right there? You go to the well once too often, you're going to get burned.
Ball cleared downfield by Petracek. Andre Hain was right on top of the back of his defender that time. Ruggles ahead to Renault. This could potentially be a breakout for the Wave. Renault's back heel finds its way to Ricardinho. Tell you, that looked like a David Eckstein ground ball up the middle there, the way it got through. Eckstein, of course, former shortstop for the St. Louis Cardinals, as well as the Anaheim Angels. Never really seemed to hit the ball with authority, but could definitely get it through, sneak it through the infield.
Wave getting a little sloppy here this second half of the 4th quarter.
Greenfield, the player coach, back out on the field, number 28. Here is Walter Bond. Moves it across. Greenfield cranks one up, deflects away. Bond coming in, shot and a goal. And Don't look now, fans, but it's now 10-6, still 4.5 to go.
3 unanswered here. Giuliano Oliviero has seen enough. You know, it's all right to try to get flashy, try to be creative, but if you're going to, then you got to be able to pull it off. You know, don't try things you can't do, and then it turns into sloppy play, which is what we've seen by the Wave here the last 3 minutes.
So Bond gets on the board with his first goal of the night, and I believe it was Greenfield with the assist. He was the one who slid it over to him. Have to double check. Nice conversion over rooftop over Josh Lemos to make it 10-6. So what was looking like a pretty pronounced Wave blowout has now tightened up a bit. Rampage will move on to play their home opener, I believe, next weekend. Let's double check. Well, they actually have to go to Baltimore next Friday. And then they will be home. They go to Baltimore and then Florida next Saturday. And we'll have their home opener after that. So tough schedule to start the year for Jonathan Greenfield and company. 3 straight road games.
These last 4 minutes could be a good learning experience for the Wave. And you talk about Keith Tozer. One of the things he mentioned was all the film sessions the players used to do. And he always felt that when the team's doing well and winning is when you can be a guys. And so you take this last 4 minutes, show the team, hey, look it, you got a little casual here, got a little full of yourselves, want to try to do tricks with the ball, and you end up giving up a bunch of goals. When you're winning, you can get down on your players a little bit more, and they're more willing to take it. So it's times you got a 2 and 3 game losing streak that you want to try to build them up a little bit, raise their confidence level.
Wave with it back in possession. They go right to left, and what has now become their symbolic or iconic black uniforms with the electric green or yellow trim. They unveiled those 3 years ago when the black turf came to town. Updated scores, Ambush now leading the Comets 4-3. Late in the first half there, and the Florida Tropics on top of RGV 5-3 late in the first half down in Texas.
And it was obvious that Giuliano Oliviero told the Wave players to keep possession of the ball. They've gone about 25 consecutive passes here from the kickoff. And the key to this, Tom, is to play quickly. 1 and 2 touch soccer, keep the ball moving. This is a fun team to watch when the speed of play is quick.
Whistle there, and Tony Walls looks like he's going to be cited for the infraction. Just a foul on Tony. Tony had 3 years here in Milwaukee. He's played his last 2 with Cedar Rapids. Tony, as I mentioned, graduate of Tozer East High School before he went on to play at UWGB. Was quite the high school basketball hoopster as well at Tozer East. Played on some pretty good teams there. Vega got laid out that time, no call.
Saw Vega, he's very effective with that move, crossing over from right to left. Likes to put his sole of his foot on the ball and then roll it with his right foot over across his body to his left.
Vega in his 3rd season with the Wave, but he has been injured a lot of the time. I don't know if we've really seen him in full blossom, as you will. It'd be great if he could stay healthy. He's certainly a good 2-way player. Ball cleared into the stands without hitting turf glass or boards, and so that's a restart, top of the arc now for Cedar Rapids. And their player coach, Jonathan Greenfield, will take it. Greenfield, as I mentioned, his 14th year as a player, spent 8 seasons in Milwaukee. Little touch across the walls, and a nice block there by Santos. Nice block there by Jonathan to stop his former teammate at Cedar Rapids. Oh, what a follow-up there, though, by Derek Huffman. Fourth straight goal for the Rampage here in the fourth. Huffman's got the hat trick, as he let you know by holding up 3 fingers. And the former UIC Flame has sparked the Rampage on this 4-goal run here in the fourth period. That's his second of this period.
You talked about the block by Santos, but then he's slow to recover. Got caught ball watching that time and got beat at the top of the box.
Well, if nothing else, the Rampage feel a little bit better about this game with their offensive output here in the fourth period. Remember, it was 9-3 Wave going to the fourth, and then Milwaukee got the goal from Ian Bennett at 5:12 from Ricardino. That was Ian's 5th of the night.
And the Wave has lost their concentration here in the fourth quarter. But they did do enough to get themselves a 10-3 lead. That is not going to cost them tonight.
Bond trying to dig it out along with his teammate Osvaldo Rojas. And Osvaldo a little bit too aggressive trying to get it back, commits the foul. Yeah, I can anticipate some pretty good battles coming up between these two teams the rest of the year. 3 more times play each other.
Well, that's what's a little disappointing about it, is you had them 10-3, and now they're walking away from this going, hey, you know what, we scored the last 4, next time we come out against them.
Yeah, going to build their confidence a bit, you would think, playing against the Wave next time. Ricardino checked off that play. And now Aguilar trying to move it upfield. Good play by Rampa to knock it away, but they get it over to Bond. Spinorama, but Limo's able to cover it up. Boy, I thought Bond was going to crank one with the right foot that time. Of course, his name is Bond. He is always got a few tricks up his sleeve.
You know, the top teams defensively in this league are going to give up probably an average of under 4 goals per game. Wave conceded 12 now in the first 2. The attack's been fantastic. Want to clean it up defensively a little bit. I think it's more a matter of concentration than anything else.
I tell you, Ricardino took a shot by somebody after he had passed the ball, and not too happy about it. Marcio fires a shot. Petracek has to make a nice save. Marcio's bid to get a goal. Now Renault cuts it off. Renault, Marcio, oh, what a dish, Ricardino. That was pretty slick. And the Wave with a goal there to go up by 4 with 19 seconds to go, but perhaps more of a feel-good goal for Milwaukee here at the end of the game.
For sure. Good 3-man combination that time between Renault, Leite, and Ricardino. Renault won't get credited with an assist or goal, but he started it with a nice ball there to Marcio. Great first-time weighted pass. Layoff by Leite.
Ricardino's got his second of the night, third of the year, and Leite with a beautiful feed there. And I believe that might be Marcio's first point of the night. He has been sort of the second assist guy here and a few other developing plays, but of course in the MASL there's only 1 assist. So good to see Marcio get on the score sheet tonight, and that'll do it. And I'll tell you, Art, great win for the Wave. Perhaps a little bit more stressful than it looked like it was going to be down the stretch. Nonetheless, good win for the Wave, good show for the fans, and a great way to start the season.
Yeah, and it was great to be able to honor Keith Tozer tonight as a Keith Tozer night in Milwaukee and through the state of Wisconsin, as we heard Mayor Tom Barrett say. But a good start for Giuliano Oliviero in the Wave, 2-0 to start, 1-0 at home.
Wave now 22-12 all time in home openers. They are home openers 24-10 and 22-12 all time in openers. Wave's actually 10-5 in games in which the home opener takes place in the first game of the season. 24-10 in home openers overall. Again, this is their 34th season. So good win for the Wave. Nice crowd on hand. And good victory for Wave Nation coming on the great night to honor former coach, the legendary coach of North American Professional Indoor Soccer, Keith Tozer. And stay with us, fans. We're going to send it back down to Van McNeil momentarily. He's going to be talking with our player of the game. And let's send it down to Van McNeil.
Not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 goals on the night. Give it up for your PCI hardest working player of the game, number 26, Ian Bennett. My goodness, Ian.
Nah, man, I'm just happy. It was a crazy night, man, a lot of emotions, but the team was phenomenal, man. They picked me up after the first game. Didn't have the best first game, but they kept feeding me. They kept looking for me, and it was a good night.
There's have to be something said about coming home and playing in front of our awesome fans.
Yeah, this is what it's all about, man. These fans, I'm telling you, they bring the atmosphere. They bring everything. They're the most loyal fans, the best fans in the league, and you just can't help not playing hard for them every day and night.
All right, we have an autographed ball here by the entire team. You should throw that out to someone in the fans. Does someone want this autographed ball? Who wants it? Ian Bennett is our PCI hardest working player of the game. Congratulations, Ian. Good stuff.
So that'll do it here tonight from the UWM Panther Arena, downtown Milwaukee. The Wave defeating the Cedar Rapids Rampage by the final score of 11-7. Art Kramer, any final thoughts about tonight's game?
As you said, a good win, a lot of goals, 11 goals, great stuff. Gives Giuliano Oliviero some things to look at. Great start for the Wave.
And a great night to honor the former legendary coach of the Milwaukee Wave, Keith Tozer. So, for my broadcasting colleague, Wave Hall of Famer Art Kramer, Tom Wynn, wishing you a good one. Get our final score tonight, the Wave 11, Cedar Rapids 7. And our next goal game coming up here on Friday night, December 1st, when the Kansas City Comets come to town. Join us for that one. In the meantime, make sure to check out the Wave on MASL TV as they go on the road to Kansas City and then St. Louis next Saturday and Sunday, respectively. Thanks again to the crew here at the UWM Panther Arena.
Hi,
led
Keith.
by our
Congratulations on
producer,
this great honor. I've
Ian
known
Thompson.
you for 30
You've been watching Wave Soccer on MASL TV and Spectrum Sports.